Today we shall be starting a chapter that is areas related to circles. This is a very small chapter, very interesting chapter and application based chapter as well. So before getting into that, we have to we have to check a little bit about circles. So what is a circle? A figure which is formed by points which is at equal distance from a fixed point. A closed figure formed by points which is at an equal distance from one point. This one point is called the center of the circle, and the points that make the circle corresponds to the figure. Okay, this fixed distance from the center to the periphery of the circle is called its radius. Okay, now there are two major points, that is, one is the circumference and the other is the area. So what is circumference? Circumference is basically, if you start walking from one point, the distance you will cover when you completely take a round and come back to the same point is called circumference. In short words, circumference is the perimeter of a circle. Clear? And there is yet another term that is called as area. Area means any closed figure we can define a term called as area. What does it mean? That means the amount of plane that it covers, the amount of plane that it takes, the part of plane that it occupies is called its area. Okay, for every closed figure this is the case. This is very important, these two concepts, because these are around 3,500-year-old concepts. People have been continually using these in constructions, architecture. If you see very complex architectures, value of pi was increasingly necessary for these things. Now what is pi? You might have heard about it. Pi is not that much that you eat, but without pi there is no mathematics, there is no calculations regarding to circles if there is nothing called as pi. So pi forms a very important part of this chapter. So let us discuss a little bit about pi.
Sir,
yes.
what exactly is pi means?
I am coming to that.
Why it is there?
I am coming to that. So basically, as you know from your earlier class, that the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. You have heard about it multiple times, you got bored by hearing about it. And the area of a circle, you got it as pi r square. Area as pi r square comes from calculus. To be very frank, it comes from calculus. So we are not interested in it here. There are other ways of seeing this as well, but right now we are not interested in that aspect. The fundamental concept from which the idea of circumference comes is the thing called as pi. For thousands of years, it has been noted that for any circle, the ratio of circumference and diameter remains constant. You must understand this pi is the ratio of the circumference of the circle and the diameter of the circle. So circumference comes out to be diameter times pi. Is that clear? Diameter becomes 2r because r is the radius. So 2 pi r becomes circumference. There is no other reason. Why pi? Because somehow for any given circle that you have, the ratio here that you are seeing comes out to be constant. Never ever make that mistake. And I shall be addressing the same thing in the next part, the next slide per se. Achha. So basically, you must understand there is a huge misconception that is formed in you in the name of pi from a very young age. You tend to think that pi is a rational number, but in reality it is not. Pi is an irrational number. This is the first point to note. And even I have shared how there are some madmen who found out the values of pi to about 68.3 trillion decimal places. The formula that is being used may be that, but up to that many decimal places, no computer was before. One of your first misunderstanding had been that pi is 22 by 7. No, 22 by 7 is a very approximate value of pi. If you calculate the value of 22 by 7, it comes out to be and so on, but it will repeat itself continuously. 22 by 7 is a value of pi that is only and only correct to 2 decimal places. So this is very limited. You must understand. The value of pi is 3.141592653589979, and it goes on. And it goes on up to trillions of places. It goes on till infinity because this is an irrational number. It is to never end. But a rational number like this, 22 by 7, it will end just like that. So there are many people who provided many values of pi, many approximate values of pi, some are quite accurate. Like if I talk about the Babylonian civilization, they gave the value of pi to be between 3 and 4. That was their approximation. Then came other mathematicians, they gave different approximations. Then came Aryabhatta, he gave an approximation. Yes.
Sir, then we use pi in calculations in many different sectors. So, sir,
let me tell you. Of course. What do you got to do with this value of pi? You have got nothing to do with that.
Sir,
the value of pi. See, 2 digits suffice. 2 digits do the job quite well. Okay. Suppose you are constructing something. Suppose there is an architectural need in you. And suppose you want the radius to be 5 meters. So just by assuming it to be 3.14 or 3.141 into 5, you will get a pretty fair idea of what will be the circumference of your brickwork. This is the way Indian mathematics used to be. Indian mathematics was largely applied mathematics. So it was full of approximations. Theoretical mathematics was just an idea that developed from the West largely, because we developed mathematics to apply to the fields that needs mathematical stuffs. Of course, like you see such complex architectures. In India, especially you will see in Indian history, there is such mammoth amount of complex architectures. Without this applied mathematics, it won't happen. There is a perfect sense of geometry and balance in everything. See, theory is something that we were not interested in because it served no purpose for us. Okay, but somehow theoretical stuffs can be approximated easily to practical areas. Okay, but theoretical stuffs are idealistic. There are many interesting things, no doubt, but as far as our civilization was concerned, there was no such point for that. Are you getting my point? Anyway, so basically, you must understand this point time and again, that the value of pi cannot end in its decimal places. You can memorize, there are people who have memorized pi to 70,000 decimal places. Yes, but you can never get it like that. So anyway, is this doubt clear? So for our calculative purpose, because we are not able to use this anyway, and this would not give us anything fruitful. Suppose we have a length of 3 meters and at another time we are getting 2.99 meters. What is the point? Anyway, we'll be having that kind of difference. Okay, so it does not matter much. So basically, we'll be using pi is equal to 22 by 7 or pi is equal to 3.14. These approximations we shall be using for our calculations only. But otherwise, pi is a huge field. Let me show you the Ramanujan's formula for pi was this. This is the formula that is very fast and rapidly converges to pi. With this formula, pi has been calculated to millions of decimal places. From where did Ramanujan bring this? How come Ramanujan came up with such a thing is still unknown. He was that kind of guy. Namagiri, yes. So he was that kind of guy. So as I will give you the PDF of this, you will be seeing that there is a link to a video on pi. You can check that. Okay, I have discussed about the history of pi in this video, about how the values evolved. There is also a very interesting thing. The value of pi up to 31 decimal places hidden in a Sanskrit shlok, that only from outside it would seem as if it is just a devotional hymn for Shiva and Krishna. Yes, it goes like that. Gopi Bhagya Madhu Brataha Shunga Shodadi Sandiga Khala Jivita Khatab Galahala Rasundhara. Now these two lines, you will be astounded to know that these represent the value of pi to 31 decimal places. Yes, this India is filled with these things. You can check on this video. The link will be given here in the description as well. Okay, so basically what does sigma mean? Sigma is nothing. Sigma is a symbolism. Suppose you got to write 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up to 100. Every time is it possible for you to write up to 100? That's why sigma. I'm taking any number. I'm varying k from 1 to 100. So all the numbers will sum up. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. This is all about sigma. So here k will start from 0. There will be one term. You put k is equal to 1. There will be one term. And if you add it up to infinity, you will get the value of pi. This formula rapidly converges to pi. Who knows how he brought it? Infinity is a beautiful concept. Any number you can imagine, 0 is always closer to that number than infinity. 0 is always closer to any number than it is from infinity. Any number is always infinitely far from infinity. Yes, infinity is a pretty theoretical concept. It has nothing to do with our ideas of time and space. Okay, we cannot fathom it because our brains are not made in that way. We always fathom everything as limited. From where it begins to where it ends, from where it starts to where it finishes. This has been our idea of entire thing. If I call this as infinite phone, you won't be able to make any sense of it. Because our ideas of space and time are brought to you by your mind, which only knows things which are limited by nature. If something is not limited, that does not fall in the physical periphery. That cannot be called as physical, like energy. It is not physical in nature. That's why you know that it has no beginning nor no ending and blah blah, all those drama. Okay, up to this, is this clear to all of you? Now, open your pen and paper and solve this problem. Very basic, it is just a brush up problem. The radii of two circles are 19 centimeter and 9 centimeters respectively. Find the radius of the circle which has circumference equal to the sum of circumference of these two circles. Short to go. Coming to the answer. Here are two circles. So this is a circle of radius 19 centimeter and this is a circle of radius 9 centimeter. We are to make a circle whose circumference will be adding these two. I mean, suppose these two are two strings. If you cut this string and join these two strings and then make a circle, the radius of this circle will be what? So basically, I am assuming the radius to be r. So what will be the circumference of this? 2 pi r. Is this clear? The big circle circumference. This is equal to the sum of time up. So this will be the sum of circumference of these two individual circles. So the circumference of this will come out to be 2 pi times 19 and the circumference of this will come out to be 2 pi times 9. Now if you see, this will be 2 pi times 28 is equal to 2 pi r. 2 pi gets cancelled and r is equal to 28. You need not do any kind of research on the values of pi, divide it to find it and blah blah. Nothing is needed. So r is equal to 28 centimeter. This is the answer. Is this clear to everybody? The wheels of a car are of diameter 80 centimeter each. How many complete revolutions does each wheel make in 10 minutes when the car is traveling at a speed of 66 km per hour? Take your time. Let's see. Any answers? Bicot answer. Pointing.
Sir,
Wherever it is not given, you are advised to take pi to be 22/7.
sir,
And Bicot
sir,
answers.
4375. Sir, আমার 4375.
Oh Baba.
হচ্ছে
পয়েন্টে আসাটা একদম ন্যাচারাল। 33/40 কি কি মানে ইউনিটটা কি? তোর হাইট যদি আমি বলি হাইট কি সেটা 10 মিনিটে 1 সেন্টিমিটারও যাবে না তোর মতে। এক রিভলিউশনও কমপ্লিট করবে না 10 মিনিটে। হ্যাঁ 22টা রিভলিউশন আসছে তো এত ভালো। This seems reasonable. কি জানি বাহ দারুণ।
10/16.
10/16
7,000/16.
7,000 आंसर तो निकाल के दो। Okay. अच्छा
স্যার
Okay.
আমার তো 4375 এসছে।
এই বার করছিস আনসার, বার করছিস আনসার, তোকে খিলাবো আমি, তখন আমার এটা হচ্ছে আমি ঠাকুর ঘর থেকে কলা নিয়ে বলছি, ঠাকুর ঘরে কে রে? তোর বাবার ফোন নাম্বার? হুম 4375. Okay, let's see. So basically, so it is said that the wheels of a car are of diameter 80 centimeter each. That means the radius is 40 centimeter. Okay, it is said that how many complete revolutions does each wheel make in 10 minutes? So they are continuously making revolution. So when the car is traveling at a speed of 66 kilometer per hour, first of all, please know this one thing. What is this revolution that a car is having? Suppose this is made of a string, suppose. Okay, now one full revolution means if you try to put this, if you open it from this side and open it from this side, one full revolutions will be its circumference, right? So one full revolution will be the distance that is covered, which is its circumference. Is this concept clear? So let me check here. If the speed is 66 kilometers per hour, so in 10 minutes, how much did it travel? So in 10 minutes, so in 60 minutes, it traveled 66 kilometers. So in 10 minutes, it travels 11 kilometers. So let me say that the car completed n revolutions. So now, if n is the number, this is just one revolution. If n is the number of revolution, then this total distance 11 kilometer will be n into 2 pi r. Are you getting my point? 2 pi r, that is equal to 11 kilometer. 11 kilometer means, so 11 0 0 0 0 0. If I call this in centimeters, so this is n into 2 into 22 by 7 into r is 40 is equal to 11000000. Is this clear? You cut 0 and 0, 11 10000, and here 2s are 22. Here you have, so 4 2500. Again 4 gets cancelled and it comes out to be 625. So the answer comes out to be 625 multiplied by 7. Wherever the value of pi is not given, you assume it to be 22 by 7. This is the rule. And wherever it should be given, it would be given that use pi is equal to 3.14. Otherwise, okay. So 625 into 7, what is the answer? Is this clear?
4375.
Is this clear? This is how you solve this problem.
Yes, sir.
Common sense 8th standard question. This is how you find it out. This is how easy this is. The entire chapter, in fact, is this easy. Okay. Now, coming to the next part. So we dealt a bit about circumference and areas. Now we shall be coming to our point of interest in this chapter, the topics that separate it out from 8th standard. These are two concepts. One is called as sector and the other is called as segment. Now, it is not necessary that we always take into account all the entire area. Is this necessary? No. We might take a fraction of area, part of the area of the circle. Now, there are two ways in which we can classify the parts of a circle. One is called as sector. It's like a slice of pizza. Sector is a part of a circle which is formed When an arc subtends line segments to the center, the area that is formed is called a sector. Whereas segment is this part of the circle. Segment is formed when there is a chord. You know what a chord is. When a chord cuts the line, the circle, and the area intercepted by the curve between the chord and the arc is called a segment. Is this clear? Are the two classifications clear? Can there be any more type of area? Either it will be sector or it will be segment. Please see this. If you take any random chunk, you can ultimately categorize it into sector and segment. The moment you divide a circle into two parts, there are two parts inevitably coming. In case of sector, if you try to divide a circle into a sector, then you would see one more sector pops up. This is one major area and this is the minor part. So this part is called as minor sector and this part is called as major sector. Are you getting my point? Okay. So how to find the area of major sector? You simply subtract the minor sector's area from the area of the entire circle. That's all. Clear? Similarly, a segment. The minor area of the segment is called as minor segment. This is a small area. And the major part of that, the remaining part of that is called as major segment. Is there any difficulty in understanding this concept till now? We will be frequently using these terms. That's why these are partial areas. Okay, these are not complete areas. Partially, when we need it, we will be needing it in several problems that we'll be seeing now. For this, it is very necessary that you fit this concept in your mind very well. This is a segment of circle, and this is a sector. You know, when pie charts are made, this, suppose this is 30%, so this is this, then this is this. A pie chart is made of many such sectors that shows the ratio of different parameters. Is this clear? Dhanastha Pandit, ki bollam ami? So basically, one point that is very necessary to note here is that if it is not explicitly mentioned as to what part you will take, suppose it is said that find the area of this sector. Now there are two possible answers, either this or this. What should you take? If it is not explicitly mentioned, sector would mean minor sector and segment would be minor segment. Is this point clear to all of you? Now coming to the most important part, because the topic is actually areas related to circles, so we would need the area of sectors and segments as well. We would need it. Now how to find the area of sector? It's just like that. You can find it just like that. Yes. Now suppose you assume the area of this sector to be A. And the angle of this is theta. This must be mentioned. Without mentioning the angle, how will you know how much the sector spans into? You won't know. This angle is very necessary. Now, I'm just trying to draw an analogy. The more this angle is, the more this area is. It is very proportionately increasing. What do I mean by that? If this theta is 90 degrees, suppose, then it is basically 1/4 of the entire 360 degree. So you see the area is also 1/4. The area of the sector is also 1/4 of the total area of the circle. So for theta, the fraction of the part, it will be theta by 360 degree. This is the fraction. And of this, I have the area of the circle, that is pi r square. This forms the minor sector. See, if theta is equal to 90 degrees, it is 1/4 of the area. So if theta will be 60 degree, it will be 60 by 360 into the area. If it is 45 degree, so what part of 360 degree is 45 degree? That will be the proportion in which the area would be defined. Is this clear to you? Is there anything doubtful in that? Theta is the angle of the sector. Is this clear? So basically, if I call this major sector, the area of this major sector as B, can you tell that this is pi r square minus theta by 360 degree into pi r square? So can you say that this is pi r square into 1 minus theta by 360 degree? B is the area of the major sector. Theta by 360 is always less than 1. Please understand. Because theta is always less than 360. Are you getting my point? So this always holds. This is clear to all of you? In a similar context, we derive the formula for arc length as well. See, there is nothing much to memorize here. In a similar context, we derive the formula for arc length as well. What is arc length? The length of this part is called as arc length. The sector is the area that the arc and the part of this radius covers, the part of this line segment covers. And arc length, what is arc length? Arc length is the part of this circumference that subtends an angle theta. Not any part. Arc is corresponding to a particular angle. Any arc would subtend a particular angle. This is, if I want to find out the length of this, let me assume the length of this is L. This is minor arc. So the length will be theta by 360 degree into 2 pi r. How does this come? So 360 degree is 2 pi r. So 1 degree is 2 pi r by 360 degree. So for theta degree, it is 2 pi r by 360 into theta. So that is theta by 360 into 2 pi r. In the same way, you can also find the areas of this. Is this clear? You must note it down because you would be having problems that could be given to you regarding this. And wherever you are supposed to take the value of pi, you shall be taking it as 22 by 7 unless stated otherwise. Clear? Go for it. Did you note it down? Because you would need it. Now, if you have any kind of confusion between what is sector and what is segment, you can take it like this. Just you can form an example that if a pie chart is made, suppose 30% is public sector jobs, 70% is private sector jobs. So this is how sectors are made. This is how you can, think it out. Arc is just a part of circumference.
Sir, segment वाला में थोड़ा दिक्कत है.
This is the minor arc, as I said. This is the minor arc, which corresponds to the minor sector. Similarly, major arc will be 2 pi r minus of this length. 2 pi r is the total length. You subtract it. Do you get it? Is this clear? Any doubt here? So sector calculations, will that happen? Okay. Now let's come to an important part, that is segment. Now, to find the area of segment, this needs a little bit of style. So as you see, the area of this segment is basically this part. There is no direct way of finding this except you find the area of this sector and then subtract the area of this triangle. This is the only way. Now, area of sector you already have. Please understand. Area of this sector you already have from the previous slide. Now, our main idea will be to calculate the area of this triangle. We have only two information with us. The two informations are the radius of the circle and the theta that it subtends. Theta. Whatever. Yes. Nomenclature can be anything. So this angle, this entire angle is theta. These are only two information given to us, and with that we shall be calculating the area of this triangle. So to calculate the area of this segment, which is the minor segment, so if I take this as A, this area will be equal to the area of the sector, area of minor sector, and if I call this as OXY, so minus area of triangle OXY. Up to this, is this clear to you? Okay, fine. Minor sector we already know, so there is no headache regarding that. But area of OXY, how to calculate this? The area will be half into base into height. Our main idea is to find this height. Okay. Now see, this is an isosceles triangle. So if I put a perpendicular, these two angles will be equal. One angle will be equal to theta by 2. The other angle will also be equal to theta by 2. These two triangles will be congruent to each other. Okay. So now let us take any one of the triangles. Suppose this. Let us take this triangle and apply a little bit of trigonometry, because if we have one side and one angle, there is no better mathematics than trigonometry. So by applying trigonometry, if this is theta by 2, can you say that cos theta by 2 is equal to OC by R? This is C. OC by R is cos theta by 2. So can I say that OC is equal to R cos theta by 2? This is exactly the height of the triangle. And we also need the information about base. Similarly, CY by R is equal to sin theta by 2. So CY will be equal to R sin theta by 2. So the entire length, that is XY, if I talk about the entire length of this, so XY will be twice of CY, because these are symmetrical. The length of this will be equal to the length of this. So this is equal to 2R sin theta by 2. Now let us join this up. Joining this up, we will be getting that the area of triangle OXY will be equal to half into XY into OC. Is this clear? That is equal to half into XY is 2R sin theta by 2 and OC is R cos theta by 2. So basically we have this as half R times R is R square, and 2 sin theta by 2 cos theta by 2 is basically sin theta. I don't know whether you know this formula or not. You are not supposed to know. Sin 2 theta is equal to 2 sin theta cos theta. You might have seen this in many cases to verify this. You are asked to verify this in certain cases. Suppose sin 60 degree, you put theta is equal to 30 here, and with 30 degree you will be able to find the value of sin 60. So in the same way, if there is theta by 2 here, so sin theta will come out to be 2 sin theta by 2 cos theta by 2. So for any sector, you have the triangle, the area of the entire triangle. This area is basically half R square sin theta. You should put this in mind. This should be in memory, because this can be derived either way. So finally, if I talk about this area A, this A will be what? Theta by 360 into pi R square, which is the area of the entire sector, minus half R square sin theta. This is the area of the triangle. Together, the area of the minor segment comes out with this. This is a little bit hacky, but otherwise, this is quite straightforward. There is nothing very spaghettified in this. So this is only the formula for area of minor segment. Now for major segment, it is just area of the circle subtracted by this. Clear? Is this crystal clear to all of you? Is there any doubt? Basically in theory, this is all about it. The rest is application. Now there will be many mix of such problems which we will be continually using. Okay. Now let's start with solving some problems. All ready? Fired up? How's the Josh? What? Yes, I actually made a hologram. I shall show you today. We made a hologram yesterday, Raksha Bandhan special project. Our plus 10, the other batch. Okay, so did you write the formula? Okay, okay. Now let's get to problem solving. Hard problem. Solve it quickly. Find out the answer normally, because anyway we'll be getting the PDF. Find the area of a sector of a circle with radius 4 cm and an angle of 30 degree. Also find the area of corresponding major sector. If I have to find the area of a sector, this is pretty much direct. So this angle given is 30 degree. The radius given is 4 cm. Find the area of the sector, so that this is 30 degree by 360 degree. This is the fraction. The total area is pi r square. This is the area. Okay. So 30 degree by 360 degree will be 1 by 12. 4, 3 are 12. So this is basically 22 into 4 by 7 centimeter square, which is equal to 21 centimeter square, which is equal to 4.19 centimeter square. Okay. The total area is 22 by 7 into 16 centimeter square, which comes out to be how much, Snigdha? 24.14 centimeter square is the total area. Now, if you subtract the area of 25.14, 25.14 is the total area. If you subtract 4.19 centimeter square from it, you will get the major area, the major sectors area. Is this clear? Quite easy.
Yes.
Okay. Next, fourth problem. Assuming umbrella to be a flat circle of radius 45, if you visualize it from up or down, find the area between two consecutive ribs of the umbrella. These are called as ribs. So basically, it's very easy. You have an entire umbrella and ribs like this. So if it is made up of 8 ribs, that means it has been divided into 8 sections. So 360 degree is divided into 8 different angles. So one angle will be 360 by 8, that is equal to 45 degrees. Is this clear? Now it is said that between any two ribs, of course, this is one rib, this is one rib. The area between this will be a sector. And this is, of course, what will be this? If it is divided into 8 parts like this, you can do either 1/8 of pi r square, or in the traditional way, that is theta by 360 into pi r square, that is pi into 45 into 45. Theta is 45 degree into pi into 45 into 45 centimeter square. So this basically comes out to be how much? 1/8 of 22 by 7 into 45 into 45 centimeter square. If you calculate it, what is the answer that will be coming? So it is coming out to be 795.53 centimeter square. 795.53 centimeter square. Is this clear? Any
Yes,
doubt in this
sir.
question? Easy? There are 5 and 6. If the perimeter of a circle is equal to that of a square, then the ratio of the radius. And the next question is the area of the circle that can be inscribed in a square of 6 centimeter is. So quickly, be fast, do it. So let us discuss the answers. Okay. So the perimeter of a circle. So let us assume the radius of the circle to be r and the side of the square to be anything. Suppose k.
Sir, pixel আমার মনে হয় D হবে।
Okay, let's see. So basically, the perimeter of a circle, that is 2 pi r, equal to that of a square. I mean, the perimeter of a square is 4 times k. This is the information that is given to you. What is asked? Ratio of the areas. That means the ratio of areas means the area of circle by area of square. So here it is k square. So now this is basically pi times r square by k square, or pi times r by k whole square. So my entire answer depends on the ratio r by k. So from here, I get r by k is equal to 2 by pi. Okay. Now putting this here, I get pi into r by k whole square is this whole square, which is equal to 4 by pi square. So pi times 4 by pi square is 4 by pi. 4 by pi means 4 by 22 into 7. That pretty much turns out to be 14:11. Clear? Coming to sixth question. The area of a circle that can be inscribed in a square of side 6 centimeters. This is very easy. Now you have a square of side 6 centimeters. The area of the circle that you can inscribe must be like this. So the only information that you have here is the diameter of the circle. This will come out to be 6 centimeters. So the radius of the circle will be 6 by 2, that is 3 centimeters. So therefore, the area of this circle will be pi r square, that is pi into 3 square centimeter square, which is equal to 9 pi centimeter square, which is option D. Is this clear? Clear to you? Perfectly clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Next, we deal with problem on combination of areas. When there are several kinds of areas given, area of triangle, circle, blah blah, and they are combined to form a problem, this kind of problems come. Fundamentals are the same. This is a very easy problem, 8th standard problem. So you are supposed to find the shaded area, the area shaded in blue, where ABCD is a square of side 14 centimeter. Please find it out quickly. Okay, let's solve. Let us solve this. So this is very easy. To find the shaded region, we know that this is equal to 14 centimeter. This is the information given to us. And from this, we can also deduce one thing. We can deduce that the sum of the diameters of these two circles will be 14. Okay. So the diameter of one circle will be 14 by 2, that is 7 centimeter. So basically, radius of each circle will be 7 by 2 centimeter. Okay. There are 4 circles. So the total area of 4 circles, it shall be subtracted from the entire area of the square. So area of ABCD minus 4 times area of circle is the required answer. Okay. So area of ABCD is 14 square minus 4 times area of circle will be pi 22 by 7 into r square is 7 by 2 into 7 by 2. So that will be coming out to be 2 2s are 4, 7 7 will get cancelled out. So this is 196 minus 154 centimeter square, which will be equal to 42 centimeter square, and that is the answer. Clear? Very simple. Okay, come to the next problem. Now here you have the problem here. Here you need to find the shaded area, the area of the flower bed.
38 সেন্টিমিটার আছে, ওটা কি পুরোটা মানে আছে?
No, not purota.
Straight line of the
Whatever is shown here, yes, only that one. See, figure is clear. Okay, let us solve this. Okay, let us solve this problem. So I took out this problem to here. How is the solution? See, this is a semicircle, this is a semicircle, and this is a rectangle. So can I say it like this? The area will be the area of rectangle plus the area of 2 semicircles. Can I say that the area of 2 semicircles will be the area of a circle? So basically 38 into 10 centimeter square is the area of this rectangle, and these two combined, these two semicircle combined becomes one complete circle, that is pi into r square. R is 5 centimeter because the radius comes out to be half of this. This becomes the diameter of this semicircle. So this will come out to be pretty much, how much will will this be? How much is this?
550 by 7.
550 by 7 centimeters square. Calculate it quickly. 78.5 centimeters square. Now the moment you add these two, you get the sum to be equal to 458.5 centimeters square, and that is the answer. Clear? Any doubt? This is how you are to solve this problem. The chapter is complete.
Yes, sir.
We are solving problems right now. The last problem of this chapter is a challenging one. Last problem for today is a little bit challenging one. Do it. Find the area of this shaded butterfly like design. Okay, so let us solve this. Okay, this is a kind of tricky problem. Now let us bring it into the solution panel and discuss. So let us assume the areas like A. So the side is 10 centimeters here, and this is precisely the diameter of the semicircles. So the radius of the semicircle is equal to 5 centimeters. Is this clear? Now, can I say that A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F plus G plus H is equal to 100 centimeters square? Because this all the areas sum up to be the area of the square. Is this clear? Now, can I say that A plus B plus C forms a semicircle? Can I say that C plus D plus E forms another semicircle? Can I say that E plus F plus G forms another semicircle? Can I say that F plus G plus H forms another semicircle? Let me note it down separately. So A plus B plus C is equal to how much? Pi r square by 2. Then C plus D plus E is how much? Pi r square by 2. Then no. E plus F plus G, how much? Pi r square by 2. And at last G plus H plus A is pi r square by 2. Okay. Add all this up. Add this all. So you'll be getting A plus B plus 2C plus D plus 2E plus F plus 2G plus H plus A. So here it is basically 2A. That is equal to pi r square by 2 plus pi r square by 2 is pi r square, and pi r square by 2 plus pi r square by 2 is pi r square. So this is basically 2 pi r square. Pi r square by 2 times 4 is 2 pi r square. Now comes the interesting part. Take this entire thing out of this place. So basically 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F, 1G, 1H. Take it out. So this becomes A plus C plus E plus G. A plus C plus E plus G plus this entire area, which is 100 centimeters square. This is equal to 2 pi r square. So the required area comes out to be 2 pi r square, that is 2 into 22 by 7 into 5 into 5, that is 25 minus 100 centimeters square. So if you calculate it, how much will you find it out? So 157.14 minus 100. So this comes out to be 57.14 centimeters square. This is the answer. This is a beautiful problem, very important problem. You need to keep your mind open like this. Okay, you see that things are overlapping like this if taken one at a time, and this is how you solve the entire problem. Is this clear? This pretty much completes the chapter. Anybody?
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, instead of doing like that way, sir, we can't directly find the area of 4 semicircle then minus it.
This is the same thing that I'm doing here. But how do you understand it? You won't understand it, no? Right now you can see like this and you can tell. But otherwise, how do you understand? This overlapping thing you can understand just by putting it like this. Plenty of ways to do this problem. One of the easiest ways to do it like this. So this pretty much completes our chapter on areas related to circles.